Good morning and welcome to another video. As you can see, down at a small river, this is the Warwickshire Stour. Now I've come down here again today. This was third choice for today. First choice was to go to the Avon. However, you can probably see from the trees, it is blowing an absolute gale. Did want to do some trotting down the Avon. So that's out, it's really blowing today, 30-mile-an-hour gusts. So trotting was out. I thought perhaps we'll go to the snaggy swim near home and target some perch, which is also on my radar. Unfortunately, the river's pushing through too hard there. I think we'd need about 4 ounces to hold on the far side. So that's realistically out as well. So third choice, we're up this small river. Now, if you saw the video 2 videos ago, we fished this same stretch. We had a cracking session. We had 7 chub out. To put that into perspective, normally 1 or 2 is quite a good session. We had 7 chub out, 4 out of this particular swim. So I did fancy giving it another go. So here we are, I've come up here. Now, tactics going to be very, very similar to last time, my sort of standard small river stuff. I've got mashed bread for the hook, and I bought some worms as well today, some lob worms. But what we're going to do is bait a few swims and then have a crack. Gear-wise is my usual small river stuff. I did think about using my ultralight today because there's not too much pace on this river. However, we had a couple of 3-pounders out here and a near 3 from further upstream. And I do fancy this to do a big fish, so I thought we'd come with the more standard gear rather than the ultralight. So I've got my power mesh, Dower power mesh, 1.25 pound rod there with the quiver tip section in, got quiver tip on, GSBR LT 3000 reel. I'll stick all the information on all this stuff down in the description. I'll link you in up there how I tie my running ledger rig on. I've got this adjustable running ledger rig on here. It's easy to adjust the distance between the feeder or the link ledger and the hook, which is great for roving when you want, perhaps you've got a fast swim and you want quite a long tail, and then you might fish another swim sort of snaggy like this where you want a nice short one. Right, I think that's probably enough waffle. I'm going to get a bit of bait in here. We'll go and bait a few spots, but spend perhaps 15 minutes baiting a few spots. And we'll come back and have a go in here first. I can't wait to have a crack. This river though is very, very moody. It could be that we fish and we don't get a single bite. Now I should mention it's about 9:30 now, 9:45. I can fish for a few hours till the afternoon. Latest I've got to leave is about 2:30. So we've got a few hours at our disposal, but how long we stay will just depend on how receptive the fish are being. Anyway, it's probably enough waffle, isn't it? Let's get some bait in here. I've got some mashed bread, a little bit of garlic puree in it. I've mashed it up nice and stiffly, so it'll get down to the bottom and break up. It's probably a little bit too stiff at the moment, but let's just have a look how it's breaking up. It's getting down nicely. We'll put it in smaller balls, I think. That's probably better. As I say, we'll put a bit in here. We'll try and lure these chub out from under there that we know live there now after 2 sessions ago. And then we'll come back after letting it rest a bit. We'll go and bait a few more spots. I've got my eye on one already. And we'll see what we can do. It's nice and mild today, 9-10 degrees. But I say this hacking wind, which is not particularly warm. But we've had a couple of nights of frost, so I'm not sure what that'll do to the fishing. But we'll get that in there. We'll try and lure them out. We're going to have a wander off upstream. So what I'm going to do today is target the cover, the features like we've got here. The rafts, the tree roots, that kind of thing. It's this river, believe it or not, I mean, I'm sure you can see the colour, but this is about as clear as this river ever gets. This is effectively gin clear in this river. It's very low, very clear. So the fish are going to be seeking the sanctuary under this cover, certainly. That's what we found out in the last session as well. We're having fished this river for several years now. When it's this low, you need to target places like this. Right, let's do a few more. Here's another one. Just a raft collected at the base of a tree. Bit of flow going under it. Oh, I'm sure you can hear that wind now. This is not going to be a pleasant swim to sit in, but it might be worth a go. A right facer in here. We might not necessarily fish all these swims. It just depends how they produce. We'll stick in the ones that we're getting bites in, of course. Right, on we go. Now, I've only fished this stretch, I think 3 times now over the last few weeks. However, this swim is usually a good one, as you can see, cover. A bit of depth under there as well. Oh, it'd be good if we got it out far enough. That's better. What I'm looking for, talking watercraft wise, as I say, the river's low, so the fish will be tucked away. We're talking primarily chub, also roach, perhaps perch as well. What I'm looking for, especially in a chub swim, is a bit of flow as well. I don't want the water to be static. Chub like a bit of water over their heads. They like it to move. So if you can find a bit of water that's moving, as you can probably see by the bits on the top, it's going at sort of slow walking pace here. And that bait I'm chucking upstream and just letting it run underneath there. Right, there's another 1 or 2 up there. And I think we'll leave it at that for now. We'll fish these swims. I think it's probably going to take us a couple of hours to fish the swims we've baited, or we're just about to finish baiting. So I think if we're going to move further downstream, what we'll do is we'll bait them up as we fish these last couple of swims. That's what I'm thinking at the moment. I don't want to sort of bait swims up and leave them for 3 hours before we fish them. Again, similar thing. Far side of a bend, big raft. Now this swim I fished once, I think didn't have a single knock, but it's worth having another go, certainly. Looked cracking, there's tree roots over there obviously. Branches falling in the water. This branch here is extending into the water, which is what's created that raft there. I think I'm going to leave it at that. That's enough to be going at, certainly for a couple of hours. We'll get back to that first swim. I'm not going to be in a massive rush to get the cast in. But if they're in a mood for feeding, doesn't usually take long. To get a bite, we'll know pretty quickly. They'll be on that feed. As I say, we'll perhaps do the opposite bank. We're on the right bank now. Just for those of you who don't know as well, when you're talking right bank, left bank, it's as if you stood in the middle of the river looking downstream. So the river's going that way, so we're on the right bank. In a minute, or sorry, later on, we'll go left bank. We'll cross the bridge and go left bank. Right, as I say, that'll do for now. We can let all these swims settle. We'll go and set up. So a bit of a tactical decision based on previous experience, the limited previous experience I have down here. What I've decided to do is fish the second swim we baited up first. We've never fished this before. I've no idea if there's anything down there or not. But I do know there are fish, well there certainly were last time I came, in that previous swim we fished. I fished there twice now in that previous swim. Once we had 4 chub out, and once we had a clanging bite and nothing else. So there's clearly some fish living there. So I'd rather they sort of settle down a little bit, add a bit of free munch. We'll leave them another 10 or 15 minutes. Perhaps then it'll be maybe half an hour before we start casting in. Well, swinging the bait out. So I think, yeah, be wise to get in here first. Have a go. So I'm just going to literally drop that in there. There's a bit of depth under there, which is nice. It's not the biggest raft in the world. If we don't do anything in here, it's not the end of the world. But it'll kill 10 or 15 minutes, letting that previous swim settle, which I think is probably our best bet of some fish today. Certainly our best bet of a hit of fish anyway. Well, nothing going on there. Nothing at all. Give it a good 10 minutes. So that's plenty of time to know we're going to get a bite if we are going to get one. Well, very, very annoyingly, the sun keeps coming out. It's really not going to help things, I don't think. But we'll see what we can do. It's lovely and overcast this morning. Obviously, with it being so windy, clearly it's breaking the clouds up. Right. Let's see what we can do in here. Hopefully, have a few nice chub out. Just like to feel it to the bottom. What I don't want to do is stop it going with the flow. I want it to carry on going down with the flow. So it sort of runs near the cover. Let's see if we get any interest in here. All right, that was the tab. There we go. God, it didn't take long, did it? God, I'm desperate to get back under there. Let's get him out of the way. Come on. Well, it's a cracking start. Doesn't feel massive. I just wanted to get him away from that tree in the hope that perhaps we can have a few out. Oh, what a swim this is turning out to be. Oh, he's not a bad one. Doing all this fighting under the rod tip, which is fine, away from that tree. God, that's a good start. Wonderful. Well, there we are. How's about that? Wonderful start. That's absolutely cracking. Thank you very much. Wonderful. Right. As usual, we'll get him in the edge down here in the net, which is why we've got this lovely deep landing net. We'll get him in there. So he doesn't spook all his friends. Well, that's great. One down and a nice fish in no time at all. This shows you that being in the right place. Nice and quick, which bodes well. Perhaps we will be able to have a few out again. If we do, wow, it'd be awesome. Right, once again, I'm just going to drop this out. Clearly out and about. Just going to feel that down, but not stop it going down with the current. So we're fishing just under the edge of the raft. If we can have another one, fantastic. A lot of times in this river though, it's one bite and you're done. But this swim does seem a bit of an exception. So we'll see. God, this wind is properly blowing now. Well, it doesn't look like anything else is going to happen here. Give it far longer than I normally would, knowing that there will be some more chub under there. But Nothing doing at all. Clearly spooked when I caught this one. I can't imagine there was just him out feeding. But you never know. I'll get, my guess is they've spooked. And they're not that hungry today that their hunger is overcoming their fear. They've spooked and they've not wanted to come back out. I'm sure if I sat here and fed for a couple of hours, we'd probably have another one. But there's far too many nice swims to have a go at to do that. Right, we'll get this fella back, as I say. Lovely fish, that. Very lively, as you can see. Go on. Back you go. There we go. Straight back for that tree. So we've crossed the river, so we're on the left bank now. And I've crossed to fish a swim here which has done me fish in the past. And also did me a fish when it was really, really cold, if you've seen that video, a few videos ago. Water was 1.7 degrees and we had a fish out of here. So it could be good for a bite in here. What that noise was? Some clanging gates, I think. Yeah, could be good for a bite in here. Sometimes is. Obviously we're fishing once again to some cover down there. But early afternoon in the sun. I'm not going to hold my breath, put it that way. All right, we've had a tap already, look. Can you believe it? Very first time I fished this a couple of months ago, I had a roach out here, out of the swim. Reasonable roach, wasn't big by any means, but you know, it wasn't a tiny one either. Certainly getting some taps, blimey, straight away. First for a long time. We fished all those swims down there, barely had a tap. Aye, aye. Oh, just about to strike that and it sprung back. Aye, aye. We're in. Oh, look at that. I'm just about to strike it. Oh dear. Well, this is a chub, clearly. That's fantastic. Oh, blimey. Going absolutely crazy to get under that bit of cover there. That's a reasonable fish. It is a reasonable fish. Well, I went to strike it and it sprung back, so I stopped and then I felt a couple of pulls. Oh, well, this swim comes up trumps again. It's another nice fish. Got him. Cracking. Well, it shows you sometimes you've got to kiss a lot of frogs till you find the prince. Well, that's about that. Another lovely fish. Cracking. That's wonderful. Beautiful condition as well. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much, chap. Right. As is the way, we might get another bite, mightn't we? So we'll get him down here. Nice deep in the edge here. I know. We'll get him in there. Sort himself out. Well, I certainly feel like we've earned that one. Definitely. And lots of taps, weren't we, before we got that bite? So I wonder if there's anything else down there, perhaps a nice roach. I've got a size 10 on, so I'm not going to catch anything small. But you never know, there's a nice roach or two about. I like the dog walkers about. It's like Crufts, this place, half the time. The amount of dog walkers in here. Right. See if he's down there with his mates, or whether he's on his own. Well, the bites have been a bit thin on the ground today, but we've had a couple of fish and then nice fish as well, both in condition and in size. So very happy about that. Obviously, the other swims I've baited further down, I've never fished them before, so they're very much of a gamble, really. Nothing to go on at all, apart from a bit of watercraft. One that's a bit of a raft, the other one sort of outside of a bend, a few trees falling in the water. We'll go and have a go at them after we've finished off in this one. But like I say, I've never fished them before. I've got nothing to go on, no confidence that there'll be fish there at all, really. Because we fished some cracking swims today, and even fished some swims that I've had fishing before today, and not had anything. But it just shows you, like I say, some days you've got to kiss a lot of frogs. I'll perhaps give it one more cast, then we'll have a move. It's just a nice depth under there. I would guess around about 4 foot. Tap, tap, tap. I felt that. Oh, we've got another one, look. Wow. Oh, well, that's brilliant. I'm amazed at that. Well, we ain't got him yet, have we? But, God, first time I've ever had 2 out of this swim. God, he's going nuts. God, he looks another nice fish. Wow. The trick is to get him in the net in a minute and not let the other one out. Here's another nice fish. It's a bit bigger, if anything. God, he's not happy at all. Blimey. a lot of his fighting right down here. He's not happy. I say, can we get him in without? God, come on! Oh, that is a proper fish. Wow, that was worth staying for. Wow. So, how's about that? That is a proper one. We'll have to put him on the scales in a minute, I think. That's cracking. Absolutely wonderful. That is a good 3. Fantastic. Right, we'll get him back in the water for a minute. So just sort myself out. That's a lovely brace. And we'll have a look at both of them together, and we'll get him on the scales as well. That one, he's a proper one. So I can't imagine for a second we're going to catch another one. I thought that was small fish again. They were tapping and rattling away at the bait. I'm sure there are small fish down here, but I think that helps, to be honest. I think it helps attract the chub. They're there and not that bothered. They're there on their own. They're not really that hungry. They can take it or leave it. But as soon as there's the other fish, they're scoffing. They want a part of it. Well, got to stay for a bit, haven't we? After that, definitely. I'll just quickly put them on the scales. Not that I'm a great weigher of fish, but chub over £3 in this river, decent fish. The one is a scraper 3. It's perhaps a fraction under, but it's pretty much £3. And the other one is 3.6. So that's cracking. And I'd say first time I've caught 2 out of this swim as well, which I'm very pleased about. Just shows there's multiple fish under there. I did wonder perhaps if they were or not. It's not the hugest raft in the world. It's probably 10 foot long and about 8 foot across. But once again, a swim, as you can see. We've got a bit of flow. You can probably see from the bits of foam on the water. We've got a bit of flow, a bit of a slack over there, and obviously some cover. Where you've got a bit of flow next to a raft like that, it's generally a good bet. Right, nothing else doing in there, not surprisingly. That's been a cracking result in that swim. Brilliant. Well, there we are. Very lively after resting up in the net, but we'll have a quick look at them. That's absolutely fantastic. What a cracking brace. Really pleased with that. I'll take that as a hint. Right, let's get him back in. Get the breath back. Off you go. Wonderful. Right, as I say, we'll have 10 minutes perhaps in another couple of swims before we call it a day. But be rude not to as we've baited them up. Well, we've almost got a bit of a peg here. Somewhere to sit. It's not pegged out, as some of them are. I don't think, anyway. No. A lot of them along here are pegged out. As I say, this one isn't, so perhaps I don't use it anymore, but I just fancied having a go. That tree's falling in there. It sort of looks like the bank's eroded. The tree's fallen in. There's obviously going to be lots of tree roots in the water. But also there's a raft collected around there as well. Looks good for a bite. Whether it is or not, we'll find out. Swim I've never fished before. So, worth a go. It's not going to be necessarily a waste of time fishing here in the future if we don't have anything today, because some of the swims we fished today have been fish just been not interested at all. So it may well be that there's some fish under there that aren't interested, but worth a couple of casts, 10 minutes. Learn from past experience on these little rivers. Generally, if you're on fish and they're interested, 10 minutes is long enough. Especially if you've put some mash in or some bait in beforehand. Doesn't take them long to let you know they're around. They'll be, you know, tap on the quiver tip, or they'll knock the line or knock the feeder or something. Then you'll know there's fish about. Well, some fish down there having a good old chew of that bread. Nothing of the stature that we're after, I don't think. Tiny little plinks on the quiver tip. seems to be anything of any size in there though. All right, someone's grabbed that. Don't tell me it's a pike. I think a pike's just grabbed that bread. Oh, a pike has just grabbed that piece of bread. Oh, he's going to come off, isn't he? He's going to bite us off. Come on, let's get you in quick, get you in hooked. Come on. Are we going to get him in? No. Right on the rim of the net. Well, it was a pike. I don't know if you saw it, about, I don't know, £4, something like that. And yeah, true to form, he's bitten us off. Just grabbed a bit of bread on the way in. Well, that would also indicate, wouldn't it, that there's some small fish down there if he's in there. So yeah, we'll have to perhaps come back in here, have a little go when we got perhaps either the maggot feeder, or we'll do another session fishing the light trotting gear with maggots. I just hoped we'd get him in before he bit us off, but we almost did. So another swim I've not fished before. Bit of a pool in here. Someone's lost their pike float in the middle of it, by the looks of it. I didn't put any bait in here, but I'm just wondering if there's any chub sat under that bit of raft over there. You can probably see. Tree across the river. I have no idea if there will be or not. So we'll try and find out. Certainly try and find out if there is. We're not going to prove if there isn't. Blimey. Didn't think it was ever going to hit the bottom. Perhaps it may not be the that's better. May not be ideal really if it's that deep. Not sure that sort of rafts are so important when the water's very deep underneath them. I think they play more of a part when it's quite shallow. And more of a feature. Worth a go. Worth 10 minutes. All right. Answers that question, doesn't it? Blimey. They've been in 2 minutes. Doesn't feel massive. Well, as I say, kind of answers that question. Got to be careful, there's a big snag to our right here. Well, there's no monster. There's a nice fish. And that took literally seconds. Got him. That's a turn up. Well, there we are. The afternoon sunshine. Another lovely fish. No monster, but very, very happy with that. That's cracking. And so quick as well. Happened so quickly. Can't imagine he's down there on his own, so worth another 10 minutes in here. Definitely. And as I said, we're not pre-baited in here at all. Put nothing in. But it kind of proves the point. If they're there and they're interested, they're going to have it. Right, let's see if we can have another one and get his big brother. No, that's it. Gotta call it a day at that. That's been, well, If you'd have told me a couple of hours ago we'd end up with 4 chub, I'd have laughed at you. Put it that way. But yeah, it's been all right in the end, hasn't it? It's picked up a bit. We're having some lots of funny rattly tappy bites in here. I'm not sure what they were, but I'm certainly going to come back and find out. So yeah, we've had about 4.5 hours down here, but I've really thoroughly enjoyed it. It's been nice to do a few more swims as well and have some slightly different results in different swims. We've fished swims and not had anything in them that we've caught in before, and this one never fished it before, never even baited it, and we've had a fish out and get lots of taps and rattles. Talking of fish, let's get this fella back. Just been resting up there in the net. There he goes. Fantastic. Now I'm going to suss out the weather at the weekend, see exactly what it's doing. So we'll suss out whether or not we're going to get out at the weekend. If not, it'll be early next week. But for now, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. Tight lines, enjoy your own angling. Many thanks to the channel patrons for your fantastic support, and I'll see you again very soon.